Hello and welcome back to the Can't Stop Talking podcast. Today we actually have a very special guest. I'm so excited. We haven't had a guest in a while, but this is actually a creator who I have been following since the beginning of her career. We both kind of started at the same time. And so I'm so happy to have you on the podcast, Katelin Powers. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Sam. I'm thrilled to be here. I feel like this has been a long time coming. I'm so glad we're finally talking, and I'm thrilled to be on this podcast because I listened to it. I feel like it's just such a privilege to be in your energy. You have the best energy, which I'm sure you hear a lot.
You're so
But
sweet.
I have just the fact that you give this to us for free, where we can just plug into you whenever we want to, is so great because you really have that motivating energy where if you're feeling kind of down one day or you just feel like this isn't possible, you're the type of person that just makes you feel like anything is possible. So I'm just so happy to be
Oh
here.
my God, that was the nicest compliment ever. I'm gonna make that like my alarm when I wake up.
Oh, please do. Love it. Yeah, so I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist and I'm also a mindset coach. But hypnotherapy is like my favorite thing. It's like my where I truly excel, my zone of genius, just helping people reprogram their subconscious mind so that they're not having those bullshit. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah, go. Oh my God, all the time. I love it.
Having good the bullshit programming that's keeping them from achieving what they want in life, that's keeping them from being confident, from loving themselves, really just helping you shed that self-doubt and the fears that are in your way, because we all come into this world knowing who we are, loving who we are, and then society between usually the ages of 0 and 7, we're like a sponge, and society tells us who we should be, what we should think, that we're not pretty enough, interesting enough, smart enough. And so I really help you just put your earphones in and get rid of all that so you can be who you truly are.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to dive in with you today because this is like what I nerd out on. And I always say, like, I always have friends who are like, I'm not pretty enough or not this. And it's so sad because I'm like, you're blaming it on your looks. It's actually your internal programming. And once you change that, nothing else matters.
Right. And once you change those beliefs, you will be shocked by how people start viewing you. When you believe that you're beautiful, it's like you're putting this out, and it's crazy the way that people start complimenting you, start looking at you, start hitting on you. It's your beliefs that are blocking. And you can think about it. We all have that friend that's like stunning, gorgeous, perfect. And then they go date this guy and you're like, oh, really? Like that, that's your vibe. Like that's interesting because do you see yourself and how great you are? And this is the person. And it's because people have those, if that guy believes that he's great, that comes out and people want to be around that.
Yes. We are the same person, I swear, because I always talk about on the podcast, even though it's a business podcast, but I love dating. Like at the bar, you'll see this kid who's like so hot, and then you'll see this kid who's maybe, not as cute, but everyone's talking to, and you're like, why are they talking to him? And then he comes up to you and you're like, oh my God. And the hot one's like shy, doesn't talk. And the other one, you're like, oh my God, I get it now. Like it's an energy thing.
Yeah, it's a magnetism and anyone can harness it, anyone can tap into it. So really do that because you're missing
Yes.
out.
My new obsession right now, and then we'll get into how you started your business, but my new obsession right now is Saltburn, and I love Barry. And right now I'm like, Jacob Elordi's nothing to me. I'm like, I never knew this would happen. Like I'm in love with Barry.
This
This
is
is
so
the
funny.
exact energy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
What's funny about that specific example too is I've been seeing all these reels go around from the cast, and he's also in another new show coming out as well, and with a lot of really hot guys in it. And it's funny because in the promos, like where they have to do all this press and whatever, all the guys, you can tell everyone just loves him and
Yes.
always wanting to touch him. They're like tickling him and stuff. And people in the comments are like, why is everyone always touching, tickling him? Like people just want to be around him because he has that magnetism.
Oh my God, I cannot agree more. I'm like, this crush is too much for me. Like, exactly. And it wasn't even the movie. Like, yes, the movie was good, but it was his interviews after. You're right. The way that people are responding to him. Austin Butler's obsessed with him. I'm like, oh my God, we have to take so many notes out of his book.
Yeah, what's so funny, I don't know if you heard, but he's rumored to be dating, I think it's Sabrina Carpenter.
Yes.
And she's stunning, perfect, can't even with her, so talented. Yeah, and he's just, you know,
I
pulling these
know.
women that are just 10 out of 10s. And if you were to see him on a dating app, I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't swipe yes for him, right? But
A
look at him.
1,000%. And this goes for girls too. We all, know someone who you're like, damn, I wish I could, talk to that boy. And then you see someone else who's maybe you don't believe is as cute as you, but obviously beauty is subjective. And then they're getting the guy that you want. So it's like, it's so real. And I love it because then, like you said, society, your looks don't matter. The amount of money you have doesn't matter. Nothing matters except for your programming.
Yeah, and I truly believe, I don't even really feel the same way about men, even though I love men, but I truly believe every woman is so stunning, gorgeous,
Yes.
ridiculously pretty. And if they just believed that, they will see that reflected out into their outer physical reality.
1,000%. Oh my God, I was having a call come in. That's never happened. But 1,000%. And I talk about on this podcast how I had my own confidence journey where I literally did not feel confident at all. And it was reprogramming my mind and, telling myself those things. And I had one affirmation. I was like, I'm everyone's dream girl. And then that affirmation, people started telling like my sister, they'd be like, oh, Sam's like my dream. Like I was shocked. And it
Mhm.
wasn't even like a cocky confidence thing. It was like affirmations really work. Reprogramming your mind is insane.
Yeah,
Obsessed. I
that was
love it.
wild. You think it doesn't work until you see it working.
Literally. Okay, I'm already obsessed with this podcast. We could go on forever, but tell us, how did you get started with your business and online space? I want to hear it all.
Yeah, so we were kind of trying to figure this out before we hit record because after 2020, I don't know what the years are. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what's going on. And I think time really is an illusion anyway. So I'm not exactly certain. And I would have to scroll back to the beginning of my account to figure out when I started and what was going on. But I know that it was in 2020 that I was feeling in my 9 to 5. I was making a lot of money, but just not lit up by what I was doing. And, we were all remote because of 2020, all at home. And I just had, which I think a lot of people did in 2020, that awakening of what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm not lit up. I'm really just going through the motions. I felt like I was sleepwalking through my life. I could log on, sure, make a lot of money, but nothing was lighting me up. I wasn't excited. I wasn't inspired. And I was just going through the motions. I didn't know what I wanted. And I just knew that what I was doing, I wasn't excited about, but I didn't know what I would be excited about. So I just really started leaning into my intuition, figuring out, okay, what am I interested in? Just going on Instagram, on TikTok. And that's when I really found manifestation again. But I would say that I think I've been intentionally manifesting most of my life. I just didn't
Mm,
realize it when I
yeah.
look back. But this was when I really became obsessed with learning about manifestation. And it started because I started a women's empowerment Instagram account and just wanting to spread some sort of light when we all were drowning that year. I needed something to connect with people and to lift other women up. That's always been a huge passion of mine. So that's what I started with. And as I did, I had these coaches start following me. I'm like, what is a coach? Like, what's going on? Is this a
Yes.
scam? I'm like,
Yeah.
is this an MLM? What's happening? I don't even know what that means. And I start looking into this, and their content was so inspiring, and it was what I was looking for, and
Oh,
it really was speaking to me. And so I started signing up. I started spending tens of thousands of dollars learning these concepts about energetics and mindset and manifestation from these coaches. But I really found that there was a gap in the space of I was learning the information, but not finding the tools for implementation.
I always say that.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't find anything that would give me the actual tools of, okay, yeah, I get it. I'm hearing all these inspiring stories about how you use these concepts, but how do I plug into something? How do I put my earphones in the morning when I'm not a morning person. I don't want to get up. How do I start my day really tapping into this? Like, there's nothing that I can just hop into. And I tried this manifestation membership that is a really popular one, and I would never put anyone down, so I'm not going to say what it is, but obviously very successful for a lot of people. But for me individually, I felt really bored by it, and I could
Mm.
not, it felt like a chore. It was not fun. And I believe that manifestation should be fun. Like, what a honor, a privilege that we get to co-create anything that we want in life with our creator, which I believe is God, but universe, spirit,
Yeah.
whatever works for you. And it should be fun. Like, this is what we're here to do. How fun is that? And I felt like it was a chore. Like, I had to do homework, popping in these meditations, and they weren't hypnosis. It was meditations, and they all had the same exact steps. And it all was very monotone, which I get when you're going in. I think what they were trying to do is a hypnosis situation, trying to get
Mm.
you into hypnosis without, the person wasn't a hypnotherapist, but it was a very sleepy situation where everything was exactly the same. And I just hated it. And I wanted to love it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And and also in 2020, I was starting to have my anxiety come back, where I started getting debilitating panic attacks in high school.
Mm.
And it was something that I worked on, a lot of years. In college, it would pop up here and there. And I came up with tools that would help me through it. But in 2020, it was really starting to come back. So I reached out to a hypnotherapist to help me. And that's
Wow.
where I fell in love with hypnotherapy and looked it up and thought, oh, I can learn how to do this. I think this is something I'd be really great at, because I'm someone that's been so highly anxious since I was a senior in high school. And then as I learned, I trained, went through different programs, practicing, really honed my skill. Then I realized how I could use it for manifestation.
Yeah.
Yeah, for beauty, for money, for confidence. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to put all these puzzle pieces together and make a membership where people actually have so much fun doing this and plugging in, and then not having to spend tens of thousands of dollars
Yes.
like I did, and having it all in one place. Because something that drove me crazy was the coaches would be like, okay, you have to join this program to learn this piece of it. And then you have to join this program and spend $5,000 more to learn this piece of it.
Yes.
And I'm like, put it in one place.
That's why I made one course. That's exactly what happened for me too. I love that. I love this too because I say that business gets to be easy. I say that, manifestation gets to be easy and people, come for me because it's this new thing of it's not easy. We're lying. I'm like, I'm not lying because my belief system has always felt like it's been easy. Yes, you have to put in the work and, you have to put in a lot of it, but it's always felt really fun to me. And that's what it kind of feels like with your membership.
Absolutely. I think that you're always going to be reaching a new level. That's what
Yeah.
I say, because I think a lot of people want to go, okay, give me exactly what I need. How long is it going to take? What do I exactly need to do? And then
Mm.
I'm done. My self-development is done. And it's like, no, bitch, if you were done, you'd be dead. So
Yes. Yes.
so it's getting to, for me, every level is more of manifesting more. So like more money. I have a home that I'm obsessed with. Everything in that physical realm where it's like more and more and more, it's because I can hold more. And I wouldn't have been able to hold what I have now in 2020 when I started those things. So yes, in 2020, I started manifesting promotions and my 9 to 5 left and right, but I wasn't able to manifest it through my business yet. And I
Mm.
was still in an apartment in LA where I was in a 1 bedroom, could hear my neighbors on every side and whatever. That was my reality then, because I couldn't hold my own home, the responsibility that comes with a home, everything about a home that would freak me out then. Like, I couldn't hold it, but I've grown into the person now that can be that person. So it's just always reaching a new level. And I find that it gets easier. I think in the beginning, it's really uncomfortable
Hmm.
because you are really in that programming of believing all these things about yourself. And so there's so much that needs to shift. So I think in the beginning, there is a lot of work, meaning there's just so many beliefs that you have to shift
Yes.
and healing to do from your past. But that doesn't mean that the work, I'm doing little air quotes, doesn't stop, but it just becomes lighter because there's just less muck for you to push through.
Absolutely. I love that so much. And how do you think this really helped you, create your own business?
I wouldn't have a business because that's what my business is.
Yeah.
But I think that the reason why I created a business is because my intuition led me to this. And that I think intuition and manifestation go hand in hand. Like there's not one without the other. And I think that I was led to my business because that's what I'm supposed to do. I think I am
Mm,
supposed to help people. And I think it's me that's supposed to help the way that I do because I'm not someone that makes you feel like it's not possible for you. I remember
yeah.
being when I was in on Instagram looking through these coaches, and God bless them, like they help so many people, but it was either they were wearing flowy dresses, running along the beach, or in lingerie, like all on a bed or on a beach, or they were a boss babe in suits by a desk with the
Yes.
laptop. And
Yes.
I'm none of these people.
Same.
You know, and like I love to get dressed out or dress up and go out and be chic and everything, but I also like a lot of the time am the person at home in sweatpants, you know? And for me, I think that that's part of the reason why I'm led to this is because people can see themselves in me.
Oh, love
And
that.
yeah, and weirdly enough, I think just like puzzle pieces come together when you really find what you're supposed to do because I remember being younger, like I have such a low voice, you know, my voice is just lower. And especially when I was like younger as a child, I would kind of get made fun of because I was such a little girl with a lower voice. And people were like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And it never really bothered me, but I remember thinking, should this bother me? Because people would comment on it. And
Mm.
now it's like my superpower because of my hypnotherapy. I get every day, your voice is so soothing. Even on my podcast, your voice is so soothing. I love just listening to your voice. And then I go into a deeper, even lower, more soothing voice in my hypnosis audios. And literally think I was meant to do this. Like, I think I have this voice because of this, you know?
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. And I always find my clients are always like, I need to be more like you with a bubbly personality, or I need to be more like, exactly like you said, suits and stuff. And I'm like, the way that you are going to help the most people make the most money is when you tap into exactly you and we create a superpower through that. So,
Yes. And that's why I think you are meant to do exactly what you're supposed to do too, because of what you said, where I can see myself in you and I'm like, oh, she's making these numbers. I can make these numbers. And also because I love that you're like, I go out with my friends, like we go have some cocktails on the weekend because I do that too. And
yes,
not that stringent person online of like, I only eat clean. I never drink. I do this, which that's perfect if that's you and that's why it's
yes.
successful for them. But I think there is a gap of people being honest online of like, I went out with my girlfriends, had cocktails. I'm coming back Monday, killing my business. And then Tuesday, I might actually not feel like doing my business today. And I'm going to take a nap. And it all is perfect, you know?
Literally, literally. And it's so funny because like I even remember when I was first starting out, it was a really spiritual place when I first started out, and they were like, you can't drink and manifest. And I was like, I actually like I made a TikTok once. I was like, me drinking wine, I manifest like 10 times harder because I'm like, oh, I can do anything. Like that little buzz, I'm like, I can do anything. So it really is every human's different. And that's
Yeah.
why we can't have these like tough constraints on everything.
Yeah, and funny you say that because I am extremely motivated. I'm just my personality. I have a really hard time shutting off. I just love to work because I love my work and I
Yeah.
love accomplishing things. And it's really hard for me. Like, if anything is the thing that I still have to work on, it's leaning back and receiving and like falling into what I call that soft girl where you're able to let your co-creator take the reins and bring your manifestation to you. Like that part, I still have to work on daily. And it's funny because for me, what gets me to shut off the easiest, if I'm like, I can feel myself like going towards burnout sometimes. I'm like, I need to stop. I need to lean
Yeah.
back But the one thing that really gets me to do that is going out with my girlfriends and having cocktails. And then the next day, obviously not feeling like 100, but that's the only thing that gets me to be able to, okay, I need to stay on the couch today, read my book, or I need to go out to the beach and lay on the beach on the sand for a while. Because having a business, it's like it never stops. I always could
Yes.
be posting more, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's actually funny because when I'm in those environments, like you said, I believe that your manifestations come through when you're like really present. And so when I'm in those environments, I've had so many people be like, "Hey, can I do a Voxer day with you? Can I sign up for your program?" When I'm like out drinking with my friends.
Yes, 100%. I was out in San Diego, your neck of the woods,
Yes.
and I have never gotten more DMs about my podcast than when I was out in like at the restaurant having my espresso martini. And I'm like, oh, these are all like coming through. And I'm really present with my friends, so I don't respond till later. But
Yeah.
look at all these coming through. You really have to get into that receiving mode, whatever that means for you. And for me, doing the Peloton really helps because I'm moving that
Ooh.
energy through, but also being able, if I can get myself to relax and read, I love reading, or watching TV like Real Housewives or Love Island. I get payments when I'm watching Love
Yes,
Island because I'm so
absolutely.
happy. I'm just happy in being.
Exactly. No, the present moment is the best. I love this. And so I know you have a great following on TikTok. I'm someone who kind of just dabbles in TikTok, but I would love to hear like how did that come about? How is growing on TikTok for you?
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this because I don't talk about Instagram or TikTok growth much on because my thing is more mindset manifestation. And with my podcast, I'm excited because I am having business owners come on and be able to talk about this a little bit more. But I just feel like my audience, that's not really like why they're there. And I'm really excited because I know your listeners are business owners. So I love being able to share because I obviously have learned a lot of tips and tricks along the way.
Oh, give it to
And
us.
yeah, and the strategy. And I think it's definitely a combination of strategy and energetics. So
Yes.
for me with TikTok, when I really blew up, I had this knowing because I had put out my clear intention, which when you're manifesting, your clear intention is just the way that it's what people call a manifestation method. So that can be your manifestation journal, or so I love my top three are manifestation journal. I have a quantum field meditation in my membership that I'm obsessed with. And that's for more like someone who really wants to be guided through like a visualization,
Ooh,
or moon water. And that's like for my ceremonial girlies that love to physically do something. Yeah. I'm gonna say I'm
I
so
love this. I know. I'm gonna
and
do this.
you can have your friends over. I do it with my best friend on a full moon or a new moon, and you make moon water to like, and you can do it together and it's super fun. So those are my three things. And you don't have to get crazy about it. You don't have to do anything like these weird freaking methods on TikTok that drive me nuts. You
Same.
don't have to do the perfume method, spraying perfume on like arts and crafts, pieces of paper, and writing a guy's name on it. Like, don't do all this creepy stuff. You don't need to do any of that. Stop it.
I love it. There's so
Stop it.
much out there. It's
Stop it.
insane.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. So write your clear intention. I had written out, and I'm telling Sam too, it's like I don't remember exactly what the numbers were that I was going for and exactly how many weeks. If you scroll back in my TikTok, I did make a video at that time, like in real
Yep.
time. So that is how you would know the exact numbers. But I was at a very low follower count on TikTok. And I said I wanted, I think 10,000, or I think I was actually going for 50,000. And then in my head, I was like, I can't wrap myself around 50,000 because right now I was at like 4 or 5 or something. And I was like, how in God's name would I go from 4 to 50,000?
Yeah.
What I always recommend doing is you can set two. You can set your intention for 50,000. And when you become a match to 50,000, you become a match. But in the meantime, whatever number you can get your head around where you're like, no,
Hmm.
yeah, I feel that sparkly. I always talk about like a sparkly emoji where it's like a little twinkle in the eye, the little twinkle
Yes.
where it's like I could feel that, like I could feel into that, and like that's possible, and like that gets me kind of excited. And so for me, I think that was 10,000, and so I did both, and I set my intention, and then I just had this knowing, like once I set the intention, because of course, like if you set your intention, it happens.
Hell
That's
yeah.
it. Period. It's just a matter of time, and time in the way that we perceive time, because in quantum time, everything is happening in the now, and you manifest through the quantum field.
Love it. Yes.
So it's only when we can perceive that time, basically like when we become a match and it pops through into time as we perceive it, which I know is like a little crazy and out
No, that
there.
was amazing. That was like brain blast.
Brain blast. But so yeah, I just knew, and I remember thinking the video that popped off and is still my most popular video, and it has like 5 million now, I think, and it still brings in followers every day. Like I literally could never show up again on my TikTok and I still would be growing.
Wow.
And this video, I remember filming this one and another one, I think on a random Sunday, I felt really inspired to say what I needed to say. Like it was just, I need to say this right now. So I went and said it. The lighting was shit. It wasn't a great video, but I just said what I needed to say. And I thought when I posted it, and I posted it the next day, but I remember thinking, if it's not this video, it's another one. And I felt really at peace with it. I just knew it was like, of course, God's going to take care of his part.
Yeah.
I am doing my part. I made the video when I was inspired. I'm going to post the thing. If it's not this one, I don't have that desperate energy attachment around how it performs. But I know what I said in here is really powerful. And I know this is meant for at least one person to hear. And that was enough for me. And it just popped off. And I don't remember exactly the numbers, but I blew past that 50,000 and was at like 60,000 within I think 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks or something. Like it was insane.
I'm obsessed. And this is such a good lesson. Like I'm so glad that you told the story because I've had, clients in my signature course who they're like, I don't know what's happening. I'm like really, really following the strategy. And then I had another client who was like, I really just started asking myself, what do I need to say right now? And she started just gaining followers. And so the strategy is needed, but there's a point where you have to stop saying, like, what do I have to do to gain followers? And who do I have to be? Like, what do people need to hear? And give up all that and just know that it's done.
Yeah, and really loving posting. Like I go through
Yeah.
waves of it, which I'm sure you do too, where you're just not really interested in
Yeah.
going on and talking. And so for me, I do try to honor myself. I stay consistent, but I do try to honor myself. Like TikTok right now is really favoring photos. I don't know if you've noticed
Mm,
that. And so for me, that's really helpful when I don't feel like getting on and saying something because I love writing. And if I'm excited to write something, that's perfect. I can put it on a photo and it's doing better than my videos that in the
wow.
format that I would have normally done it. And I'm not expending that energy when I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So kind of like working with the algorithm, if you will, it's seeing what's working with how your energy is. Like, where can I do less if I'm not feeling like I want to? And then when can I get on and film when I'm really excited, which for me is usually after I've had my matcha or my coffee. And I'm like, oh, I want to say something. So I'll get on and hop on then. And then whenever that is, so I usually have kind of like a couple of videos in my phone. And if I'm not feeling it, I'll repost something or I'll do photos where I'm saying what I want to say, but through writing. It's like, where can I make this work for me? And also I want to say that for me, the actual conversion of people hopping in my membership or grabbing my beauty hypnosis, like people pulling their credit card out and paying for my tools, happens, I've noticed, usually with videos that don't perform as well in terms of views.
Thank you. Say it louder for the people in the back. They need to hear this. But it
Mhm.
is so true that people are always like, well, the video flopped. And it's like, there's videos where people have gotten 100 views that happened to me, and then they sign up to be in my one-on-one coaching.
And I don't know exactly why that is. I don't know if it's because even when my videos do really well and I'm getting a lot of followers, I don't know if it's because they need to be nurtured more or if it's just because maybe they're not exactly fully aligned for my tools and they just are the type of people that just want to like watch things. I don't really know what they're up to. It's not really my problem. But um sorry, I'm like watching you laugh and then I lose my train of thought.
No, I
Uh,
love it.
but that mindset is really great for me because it is a fact. Like, and from my reality, it is a fact that I'm either nurturing my current audience, which is more important to me because I do want to help people. That's my main
Yeah.
goal. So it doesn't matter to me. My ego, of course, would love to grow, but what I feel best about is having more people in my membership where they're actually changing their lives. And I'm getting people writing me saying, I manifested this relationship, or I have a ring now. And before he didn't want to commit, or I just manifested $10,000 out of nowhere. Like that lights me up more. And that's what I need to remind myself. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And those people tend to, for whatever reason, hop in at my videos that have low views. So when I
Yeah.
see low views, I'm like, okay, I'm winning. And when I see high views, I'm winning. So when I'm losing, I'm winning. And when I'm winning, I'm winning.
Oh, I love that. And we're going to actually dive into these topics about, you know, manifestation, money manifestation, and dating. But first, I just wanted to say, how do you, because a lot of my clients come in and they're like, I feel like I need to niche down. And I was a manifestation coach at first, and then I took a bunch of clients and I really liked working with business, and that's how I became a business coach. And so I always tell my clients that you don't really need to niche down, you just need to learn how to market. And so for you, your niche is kind of manifestation. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I would say you definitely have the expertise more because I only know my own business. I'm not a business coach, but I will say for me, I do believe that you need to have videos that are under an umbrella. I, for me, I don't believe that my content would do well if I were to start posting about food. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone would give a shit. And so maybe if I get to a point where my brand, my face is so recognizable where they wouldn't care, like Alex Earl or something,
Yeah.
where she posts whatever she wants. But for me, it doesn't make sense. And again, my goal is to help people through my tools. And so it doesn't make sense for me to post something so out of what I am offering. So
Yeah.
I post on my stories. I do post more things about my personality. So I'll post about the books I'm reading, the TV I'm doing. Sometimes I'll be doing a recipe or whatever. And people do like that. And like home decor, when I was remodeling my house, like people really enjoyed that. But again, that's my people that are most
Yeah.
my ride or dies, they're in my stories. And so I wouldn't post that stuff on my actual feed unless I'm posting about here's how I manifested my dream house. And then
Yeah.
show my remodel or whatever. That makes sense. So for me, I guess that probably is a niche, but my niche is women empowerment, like the Delulu girlies,
Yes.
supporting each other, female friendships, mindset, manifestation. So, and obviously the subconscious mind, but those all go together. So I guess I say yes to a niche, but not so much where you can only,
Pigeonhole. Yeah.
yes, where you could only be talking about female friendships and only make content about that.
Yeah, exactly. Because there was a point in, you know, the business coaching in the industry where they really were trying to get people to niche so far down. And I'm like, manifestation is a niche. Like you can take that and you can run with that as long as you just talk about specific things within it.
Mhm.
And that's how I find does the best. I love that. Okay, let's get in because I know everyone wants to know. So I want to hear first your money manifestation tips, and then we'll go into manifesting and dating.
Yeah, for money, I think that's something that I still am working on, honestly. I think, like I said, there's new levels. And so
Yeah.
for me, I've always been able to manifest dream jobs, whatever I wanted immediately, like no problem. And I think that we're all manifestors. And I think that we all naturally are really great at manifesting in some areas and then weaker in others because of the beliefs that we have around it. So some people just naturally manifest love really well or
Mm,
naturally manifest opportunities. And for me, dream jobs are like really easy. And that's just something about the belief, I guess, of what I bring to the table as a employee, I guess.
yeah.
And so for me, manifesting money and promotions is easy because I believe it's way easier for me to have money come through that avenue because it's so possible for me. I'm like, this company has money. It can
Yes.
to me easy. So for me with money, it's really been about opening up as many avenues as I can so that I believe it can come through anywhere. And so, of course, there's those people online that talk about it can come through anywhere. You don't have to do one thing. And
Yeah.
it can come through the mail. And I have had that happen to me, but it can come through this and that and whatever. But for me, that's going to be a lot harder for me to manifest the type of money that I am accustomed to and I want to be coming in consistently if I don't have an avenue for it to come through. So for me, that looks like obviously my business, my membership, and my membership is very low cost. So
Hmm.
I have to have a lot of people in for me to be making a lot of money. And then I have like my beauty hypnosis, which is also very low cost. And then I have investments that I have. So I know that they can come through in a different way. And so for me, it's about opening up as many things as I can. So like investing in stock and whatever. It's like I
Yeah.
know that there's multiple avenues that this money can trickle through me. And just figuring out how can you open up another avenue. So if that's someone listening, like, oh, okay, maybe I could have another offer where that would make it feel more possible. Or if that's, I could start a side hustle if you are in a 9 to 5. So what is it that you'd be able to wrap your head around? And that makes it feel way more possible for me. And then also just knowing everything always works out for me. I've always had enough money, always. And I know that I always will. And if you really are able to differentiate between the need and the desire, that's
Mm.
when you'll be able to feel really safe around money. Because if you are living somewhere, even if you're sleeping on someone's couch, you're okay. You don't need money because you're alive and you're okay, and your nervous system can go, okay, I'm safe, I'm okay. I don't need money. I'm okay. But you want money, and that's perfectly fine. There's no shame around that. You get to have as much money as you want, but you can't manifest more from a feeling of not enough. And you have to
Oh,
know that you have enough, because more is more. So you have to be at enough, and enough it's not on the same frequency as need or lack or scarcity.
I love that. And you kind of said like you have to, be that person because you were like, I always know that that's your identity. I always know that I'm going to have enough. And
Mhm.
that's changing not just your manifestation, but how you interact with money. I love that. No, it's so good. These manifestation tips are just like blowing my mind. It's like a
Oh,
brain blast.
good.
Yeah, no, it's so good. And then my favorite, manifesting and dating, and I always refer to manifesting and dating through my business analogies. I just think everything goes hand in hand, but I love the way that you talk about dating. And, I saw a TikTok that you were basically talking about, the masculine and feminine in dating. And sometimes I feel like everyone's like, what does that mean? But you explained it so well. So if you can
Sure.
explain it for my listeners.
Absolutely. I'm hoping I'm going to explain it as well as I did then. I'm always like, wait, how did I say
Yeah,
it?
right?
Because I do talk about that a lot. So I don't know exactly which video, but it is something, if you understand the masculine and feminine energetics, which everyone has masculine and feminine, regardless of gender, it doesn't matter. It just depends on the levels that you're leaning into it. So if you understand these dynamics and energetics, you will succeed in manifesting love, because you need to know what type of person you're looking for. And if you're talking about a straight man and a straight woman, a lot of women think that they want a masculine man that's more in his masculine. And again, not hyper masculine, but he can go into his feminine and really understand, emotional intelligence. But he's more in his masculine, which allows you to be more in your feminine,
Mm,
because you can't have two majority masculine in the relationship. One is gonna fall back into the feminine. It's just
wow.
putting my fists together. I know they
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
see, but I'm putting my fists together. It's like one will break, one will fall into the feminine. And for a lot of women, and I have been in a relationship like this, I have made the man fall into the feminine by my masculine, but I also felt
Mm,
like he pushed me into my masculine because of the way that he wasn't showing up in his masculine. And the way that this looks like is someone that's not sure of who they are and what they bring to the table, and them being able to, the masculine loves to take care of the feminine. They love to have that structure And yes, sometimes that looks like financially, but usually it's the support that I've
Mm,
got this. Like you lean back, you being your feminine, I want to take care of you. And that's not all the time.
yeah.
Men always go, oh, I have to do everything. No, but men love it when they feel valued in that way. And that looks like you appreciating them when they are doing those things for you, and they will want
Yeah.
them more. And you get to fall into your feminine because we as businesswomen, we are in our masculine most of the
Mm,
time every day. We are making decisions. We're CEOs every day, deciding. And we don't want to come home to our man and have him go, well, where do you want to eat? Like, it's like,
yes.
no, I've done that all day, you know? And so a lot of women think that they want a masculine man that really is going to be the one taking care of you. And this just looks, and it's hard to give examples, but examples like pulling your chair out for you and opening your car door and just doing these things that men really love to do if you give them the opportunity to do them,
Yeah.
which a lot of us don't. We will just open our car door and things like that, but they love it. And you, like, when you get in the habit of being able to fall more into your feminine, it feels so good and you feel so safe, and you feel safe to be able to be in your feminine magnetism and to be vulnerable and to show who you are. But when you're in your masculine and like, I don't need a man, I can take care of everything myself. Of course you can. That's not the point.
Yes.
You want a man. So accept that, own that, and allow him to be the man instead of saying, I need to control everything. And then you're forcing him to fall in his feminine. And then what that looks like is you starting to mother him, and you're not
Mm,
his mom, you're his partner. And then you're nagging at him, can you please just pick up your socks? Can you please just take the trash out? Can you please just plan a date for me? You never do these things anymore. And you become that woman who you are.
yes.
That's not you. No one wants to be that woman. You want the man to be able to just do those things, and he will if he feels like he's taking care of you. And then you get to be in that feminine. And a lot of people talk about like the princess treatment and whatever. And it is that, but it's also a balance. And it's like a lot of women think that they want this type of dynamic, but then they're the ones texting, hey, do you want to go out this weekend? They're the ones taking charge, and you're not allowing the energetics to do their thing.
Yes. So would you say in those, I love this because I always talk about this and it's so good, but would you say in those situations when you do start, you're the one texting, you're the one, is it just pulling back your energy?
Yeah, it's you pulling back your power, because what you're doing is you're giving this power away, especially if you're repeatedly reaching out. And I always
Mm,
think about dating as like a tennis match where like I hit the ball, you hit the ball, match each other's energy. And the man, when he's courting you, should kind of like maybe hit the ball once or twice more vibe, but you're matching each other's energy. So if you find yourself where you're reaching out, you're falling into that desperate energy, which is not
yes.
you. And I was talking to Sam about it before we started recording, but it's your brain chemistry. And a lot of us don't realize that, but biologically, we're supposed to reproduce is
Yeah.
biologically. You don't have to if you don't want to, but our brains are trying to get us there. So the brain chemistry, when you're getting that text or you're getting that validation of I really like you or you look really good tonight, that attention, that validation, you start craving it because that's a dopamine hit every time you get the
Mm,
text. Every time you see their name light up on your phone, dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit. And then when you don't get it, when they're not texting you, you're in withdrawal the same way. Scientifically, studies have shown attraction is the same as if you were taking cocaine. And
wow.
withdrawal, because the same areas in your brain regions light up as if you're taking cocaine, the same dopamine hits are happening. So you withdraw and your body is going, ah, I need it, I need it, I need it.
Yeah.
So you're like, I need the text. So you're like, okay, well, I'm going to text him because I need the text. If you recognize that and go, oh, my brain's doing that thing again, that's not me. It's just the chemical reaction of the neurotransmitters in my brain. And then you can relax and go, okay, if he wants to see me again, if he's interested in me, he will reach out. And that usually happens when you shut off that desperate energy and then transmute it into magnetic energy. And it will come in, you'll see those texts coming in. But again, it's not you're doing that for the results. You can't be acting for the result. You're doing it for yourself. And that's what makes you magnetic. And then that's when the results come in too.
Absolutely. And I love this. And this is why it's so hard in this day and age when it's like, if he doesn't, that's why I think social media, you have to be careful because, like, if he doesn't do this, I'm always, if he doesn't wipe your ass, like, social media is so crazy that they make you think like he doesn't like you if he doesn't do this. Or I even saw one that was like, people think that he doesn't like you if he doesn't text you. And some people aren't texters, whatever. But we get in our heads of like social media saying if he doesn't bring you flowers, if he doesn't do this, if he doesn't do that, then this person doesn't like you. And that's why you're waiting for them to do these things. You're not doing these things. And yeah.
Yeah, I think it's swung the pendulum to the other side too far. I think that a lot of women are kind of being assholes with men with like the ick thing has gone too far.
Yes.
It can be really funny, if the man's in on the joke. And like, of course, you've seen those reels where it's like, my boyfriend's like swimming like this. And,
Yes. I got sent one this
it's
week
right.
by
Yeah.
my guy friend. That's so
It
funny.
can
Yeah.
be really funny, especially if like they're in on it. And like, of course, it's a trend and it's funny, but it's not funny when you're saying it's the ick about something that he's really passionate about, or it's part of his personality or the way he looks. Like, that's just rude. Sorry. That's just you being an asshole.
And I thought about this week, if the shoe was reversed, girls would be freaking out.
Absolutely. And we just have to be, it's just human decency. Like,
Yeah.
remember that this is a person. And of course, I think because obviously in dating, there are some trash men out there. And so you've been burned and there's that trauma there. And so it's a defense mechanism of like, well, they did this to me. But again, it's like if you're looking at your life like a mirror, and like if you're looking at the universe as a mirror, and you're showing up as an asshole, like who do you think
Yeah.
you're attracting back to you? You're going to get an asshole. So be kind. And that doesn't mean not to be yourself. That doesn't mean you can't be sarcastic. Like, be everything that makes you you, but like be a person. And I think
Yeah.
been lost a bit. And like with the princess treatment, it's like, yes, you should be treated like a princess, but you also have to earn that from someone that actually knows you. And you can't expect that from day one when this person doesn't know anything about you.
Wow. And I saw this quote that I really loved from The Game of Life and How to Play. It's like a really old book. And basically they were saying the girl was like, demand he's not giving me love back. And so how do I get it? And they were like, well, you're not giving love if it's circumstantial. If your love is, you're giving it regardless of if you're getting it back. And that changed my mind on everything that we're constantly looking like if they're not doing this then I can't, do that. But if you're constantly in the energy of love, no matter what, and I always say we give our friends more love than we give the person who we're trying to date. And that really helps me rewire my brain too.
And to ourselves too. It's like, are you giving
Yes.
yourself that attention, that validation? If you're craving that from someone, are you giving it to yourself? And the answer usually is no. And if you give it to yourself, that's when you start to become magnetic. And then other people, it's just the energetics. It's the energetics.
Yes.
They want to be around you. They want to be in your energy. They're like, I don't know why, but I just want to be around her. And it's because you don't need that validation from them. You already know who you are. And that's just the cherry on top if they want to join the party.
Oh my God, I love it. And just a tip that I know when you were saying, like, you have to take out the trash or you're nagging them, how to change that is through the same thing, changing it to love, saying, I would love if you took out the trash. I would love to go on a date with you. Instead of saying, you never take me on dates, I would love if we could go on a date this week. And when you change it to that, they start doing everything you want.
I really think positive reinforcement is such a great tool with men and with women, but they don't want to be scolded. Like they're
Yeah.
not, again, you're not the mom, they're not your pet. Be their partner and communicate to them in a way that they don't feel like they're immediately on the defense. Because if you
Yeah.
immediately start coming at them, they're going to shut down and immediately be on the defense. And something, it's just also communication is a skill and anyone can learn it. Just people don't take the time to learn it.
Mm.
Something with, of course, there's arguments that come up. Of course, yes, they do leave their clothes on the floor, their sweaty, gross gym clothes. And you're not supposed to just not say anything, but come at it with love. And if you can make a joke out of it where you're touching them and saying like, hey babe, this is really gross. Like, what do
Yeah,
we
yeah.
not do this? How do we not do this? Like, what's the solution? Like making a joke out of it. Or when they are cleaning up and you're saying like, thank you, that really makes me want to kiss you, or makes me just like so excited. I could like twerk on the table right now, like making a joke,
I
like,
love it.
like making it light where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's funny. And so he's like, oh, okay, I want to do that more. Like that was fun to have this interaction with her because she's happy with me and then we're laughing and like whatever. It's like give that, make them good moments instead of, oh, it almost makes them want to leave their clothes on the floor more because they're like, they just don't want to please you if you're being a bitch.
Exactly, exactly. No, everything like in these last 10 minutes for dating, it's like if you took these and actually used them, your world would change.
And something with communication too that I just want to say, because for me it was such an aha thing. And this was years ago, and I truly need to find where I found it, but I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan, and it was an interview she gave, and it was one of her friends that used this, and she mentioned it in an interview, and I've always remembered it.
I'm
But
excited.
going into an argument, say to the other person, like, remember, we're on the same team. Like her friend and their boyfriend or husband or whatever would always say, same team. When you're really heated, remembering that we're not, this argument is because I'm upset or I'm triggered and I want to work through it and find a solution. Like
Mm,
your argument should be trying to find a solution or process through what you're feeling. It's not to win the argument because then there's a loser. And I think if one of you is losing, you're both losing. So it's coming to the argument saying, same team, remember? Like, I need you to
wow.
hear me. I need you to see me. I need you to understand me. And usually that's all you really need is, hey, I need you to hear this so that this doesn't happen again, right? We're just trying to not have the behavior repeat. So if you go same team, even just that can break the tension or the anger and go, like, just take a minute, take a beat. Okay, I remember now what we're trying to get to here.
I love that. That's so good. And just kind of setting also the ground rules for like how this is going to go. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. I love this so much. So I guess my last question is just if you could tell my viewers anything, it could be about anything, what would you like the message to be?
Wow, that's a big ask.
It
I
is.
want to say so many things. I think just that you really have no idea how powerful you are. Like you've only seen a small little speck of it. And I think that there's something in you, especially if you're listening to this podcast because you're drawn to Sam. There's something in you that knows that you're meant for more. Listen to that. Let that voice become louder and louder and louder. Learn how to tap into your intuition. And when it's intuition's like a muscle. When you strengthen it, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then you won't need to have to explain why you're listening to it. Cause I used to feel like, oh, I need it. This is weird. Why am I doing this? Like I told Sam, I woke up one day after living in LA for 10 years and knew that I was complete. I knew I was done. I didn't know where I wanted to go. And I felt like a crazy person, but my intuition was saying, go. And
Yeah.
I felt like, oh, I need to over explain myself to my family and friends, why I'm going, where I'm going to go, blah, blah, blah. It was like, you don't need to explain yourself to anyone. And you listen to that intuition. And when you do that is when all your success follows. So just don't let the outside noise get in the way. If you know you're called for more, follow those breadcrumbs because they're leading you to your path.
Oh my gosh, this episode was so good. Before you go, please pimp yourself out. Where can we find you? How can we work with you? I know my listeners are dying to know.
Yeah, so I'm on TikTok and Instagram mainly. It's Katelin.power, and I spell my name Katelin, which I know is different. So follow me. I would love to be friends. Absolutely. And then I have a podcast called Power Talk with Katelin Power that's brand new. It's so much fun. I'm gonna have Sam on soon. We were like, we need to give the people a break from us, but then she's gonna come on mine.
Yes, yes.
But it's just been so great having these conversations from it girls that are out there living their dream lives. Like, let's see what they're doing so that we can take what works for us and have the success in our life. And then of course, I have solo episodes on there where I'm really breaking down that information of like the how of the manifestation. And then if you want the tools for the implementation, my membership is called Manifest from Power, and you can go to CaitlinPower.com to hop in there.
Oh my gosh. And guys, I literally, the podcast is so good. 100% go listen, go follow her on all of her platforms. I'll leave all the links below and the membership and everything like that. Thank you so much for coming on. I loved having you.
Thank you, Sam. Like I said, it's a privilege to just be talking with you and to be able to tune into your energy. So thank you so much for having me.
You are so sweet. Bye, guys.
Bye.